Hey kids, welcome back to the Borderline Man. I just watched this funny sketch on Facebook, I think it was, a reel there with Sushi Mango. And the point of it was these immigrants living in Australia being very, very, typical Italian, I think they are supposed to be. Very funny. And it's a roller coaster of emotions. That's the point of this. And that got me thinking about one concept that is troublesome. And that is identifying when something is maybe cultural and maybe just something biological or something medical. Let's put it that way. I mean, one of the most characteristic things about borderline is emotional roller coasters. The fluctuations we can go through when we are feeling really bad, especially. We can go from highs to lows within minutes. What separates it from bipolar disorder, which is much more predictable and, well, not necessarily predictable, but at least more stable in its characteristics. A bipolar person doesn't have mood shifts the same day, back and forth several times. That's not at least to do with anything bipolar. That's to do with that person having probably borderline. So, what do you do when you live in a culture that's extraordinary emotional? Let's put it that way. If you live in a culture, a Mediterranean culture perhaps, where emotions are very often strong and fast and rapidly changing, I mean, that would mask a borderline person in some regards, at least to its surroundings. I know if I ask my ex what she would say was the most typical thing with me and my borderline, it's the mood swings, these rapid mood swings that was impossible for her to keep up with. And I live in a reserved, introverted, Nordic country where having strong emotions and being very emotional in your mannerism is not culturally normal. We are a lot more reserved. This is a stereotype, of course, but if you look at how people perceive Nordic people and when they come here, most of you guys, when you come here, consider Swedes, Norwegians, and Finnish people especially, and Icelandic people also. To some extent also Danes, but Danes are a little bit more, I think, more continental, let's put it that way. But yeah, we are very reserved. So if you have problems with regulating your emotions, it's going to be quite obvious. It's going to be very visible in your group of surrounding people, your family, your friends. And of course, we have people who are this way here as well without having a condition, but I think the measuring stick used will be different if you have borderline in a Mediterranean country, or if you have borderline in Sweden or Finland, especially. I think it is not going to be a clear case of having the same, giving off the same impression to others watching you. People might not see that something is off with you if you live in a Mediterranean, passionate, or maybe Latino surrounding. Just an idea I I got through my head right now. I can't back it up with any other data than stereotypes, of course. But it just makes sense to me that borderline is a lot more visible in a introverted and reserved setting. A lot more. Yeah. If you got any ideas on this and an experience from where you live, please share it. I'm interested. It would be interesting to hear if I have some people watching this channel from a country that is very different from mine in this manner. And of course, if you're living in places like United States or Canada, let me know. I mean, we're not, obviously, we're not that close maybe in culture, but I think there are similarities. I think, especially with Canada, I think that Canada and Scandinavia share a lot of things. We are similar in many ways. I think just the general setting of being located in a cold, close to the Arctic setting creates a certain type of culture. You can probably, I'm not so well known about it, but I think you could probably find it in Russia as well. You should. It makes sense, in my opinion, at least. So, well, enough from me. Let me know. Could be an interesting development of topics from this.